we are discussing about the human circulatory system. In that, our topic is the heart. In the human heart, now our topic is internal structure of heart. You know, our heart is made up of 4 chambers. There are 4 chambers. Okay. In between, there is a inter atrioventricular septum, and above here 2 chambers are present. These chambers are called atria, singular atrium, and down also 2 chambers are present. Down 2 chambers also present. Down 2 chambers here. These 2 chambers are called ventricles. So here chamber 1, 2, 3, 4 chambers. So 4 chambers are present, and upper 2 chambers are called atria and down 2 chambers are called ventricles. And atria ventricles both are separated by interatrioventricular septum. And coming to upper 2 chambers, atria, and these 2 atria, they are also separated internally. This is known as interatrial septum. Interatrial septum. And in the ventricles, they are also internally separated by a layer. This is called interventricular septum. Interventricular septum. This is right atria, this is right ventricle, whereas this is left atria and left ventricle. In the embryonic stage, there is a hole in the interatrial septum. There is a hole inside. Before to birth, this is called foramen ovale. This is called foramen ovale. After birth, immediately this foramen ovale is slowly it is cleared with mass and slowly closed. It is closed. Slowly it is closed. So after closing, there is a depression and there is a scars, small patches there. That patch is known as a fossa ovalis. Fossa ovalis is called. In some cases, what happened? This foramen ovale not closes properly, and so what happened here, that foramen ovale not closes properly, and this is known as a hole in the heart. And this hole in the heart, in common language, in the zoology it is known as patent foramen ovale. This is a disease or this is a syndrome. So actually this foramen ovale closes after birth, but in some cases, rarely, that fossa wall is not closes completely and shows a small hole, that is called hole in the heart. In the medical terminology, it is known as patent foramen ovale. So right atrium, left atrium. If you see here, right atrium, this is right atrium, larger in size comparing to the left atrium. So right atrium larger than left atrium. First point here. So in the right atrium, and right ventricle, ventricle, in right atrium, right ventricle, there is a hole, and here also there is a hole. Hole means the way is there, some entry is there. In this entry, or in this hole is called right atrioventricular aperture. This one left atrioventricular aperture. Okay, so in the right atrioventricular aperture, the valve is known as tricuspid valve, 1, 2 and 3. So here 3 cups are there. So this is called tricuspid valve. Tricuspid valve is present. Tricuspid valve present. But here only 2 are present. So 1 and 2. So here this is known as bicuspid valve. Bicuspid valve also known as mitral valve. Bicuspid valve also known as a mitral valve. So these are the cups, okay, opening. So right atria opens into right ventricle, left atria opens into left ventricle by here tricuspid valve and here bicuspid valve. Another valve also present here. From the right ventricle, a blood vessel comes outside, comes out. This is known as pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery. And this pulmonary artery, after coming out of the heart, it immediately divides into 2 branches. From the one branch for the right side of the lungs and one branch for the left side of the lungs. So for the left and right side lungs, for purification, the blood is transferred to the lungs from the right ventricle, and here in this area here 3 valves are present. Here 3 valves are present. They are semi-lunar valves, half moon shaped semi-lunar valves are present. So they are called semi-lunar valve. This semilunar valve where opens into the pulmonary artery, also known as pulmonary valve. Pulmonary valve. Another blood vessel from the left ventricle arises. It is somewhat large in size. It is somewhat large in size. Okay, this blood vessel is known as aorta, also called systemic artery. Systemic artery. And internally here also three semilunar valves are present here. These are also called semilunar valves. So the name here same, semilunar valve, but other name, second name is different. Aortic valve. Aortic valve, also called systemic valve. Also called systemic valve. So what we discussed here, valves. So first is the aperture, atrioventricular right side, right atrioventricular aperture. Inside there is a tricuspid valve. Left side, left atria, left ventricle, there is a left atrioventricular aperture. Inside there is a bicuspid valve. The opening of the pulmonary artery in the right ventricle is with semilunar valve, and the opening of the systemic artery also is with semilunar valve, but the valve in the pulmonary artery opening is called pulmonary valve, and the valve present in the left ventricle to opening into the aorta is called aortic valve, also called systemic valve. What is the work of these valves? These valves they stops the prohibit or inhibits the backflow of the blood. So only one way flow only they give the chance, and the backflow they avoid. So the blood from the right atria, the blood from the right atria enters into the right ventricle only, and backflow is not possible. And the blood from the left atria enters into the left ventricle only, and backward flow is not possible. And semilunar valves also one way direction of the blood, and backflow is not possible. And here also blood enters into in this way, and backflow is absent. So only one way blood flow they allow. And so these valves, whatever the valves are present inside the heart, they allow only one way flow of the blood, and backflow they avoid. So this is about the valves in the heart. And the next topic is ventricles. Next, coming to the ventricles, right atria, left atria, the ventricles. Okay. So the valves of the left ventricle are somewhat thick in size. So they are very much thick valves. The valves here very much thick valves. You see, the wall of the left ventricle is very much thicker comparing to the right one. So right one is not that much of thick, so they are very much thin are present here. When comparing to the left ventricle wall. So left ventricle walls are somewhat thick in size, and right ventricles walls are very much thin. And internally, left and right ventricles internally, the muscles are elevated. Elevated muscles are present like this. So here, like this. These upward ridges, up and down ridges on the walls, internal walls of the ventricles, both the ventricles, they are called columnae corneae. Columnae corneae. Attached to the columnae corneae, attached to the columnae corneae, attached to the columnae corneae, one type of muscles are present on the columnae corneae. These are known as papillary muscles. Papillary muscles. Papillary muscles. And coming to right atrioventricular aperture and left atrioventricular aperture, if you take here, there is a tricuspid wall and there is a bicuspid wall. Okay, so papillary muscles, and these papillary muscles are linked to the tricuspid wall and bicuspid wall. Papillary muscles are linked to the bicuspid wall and tricuspid wall, and these are known as chordae tendinae. This is known as chordae tendinae. This is known as chordae tendinae. Chordae tendinae. Also known as heart strings. Heart strings. Also known as heart strings. What is the use of this papillary muscles and the chordae tendinae? Whenever the blood from the right atria enters into the right ventricle, and the blood from the left atria enters into the left ventricle, so these papillary muscles contract. The papillary muscles contract and the blood enters into their respective ventricles, means opens the walls, and when they comes to the relaxation, then the valves are closes. So opening or closing of the valves are basing on the papillary muscles. So most important for the exam point of view, these are papillary muscles and chordae tendinae. Heart strings are important, and the elevations of the inner wall of the ventricles is known as columnae corneae, and right atria is larger than the left atria, and right ventricle also larger when comparing to the left ventricle. So right ventricle larger than left ventricle. So right side both the chambers are larger, and left side atria and ventricles both are small chambers. And next the self-activating a tissue is present in the muscles of the heart, in the human heart or vertebrate hearts. In the vertebrate hearts, a special cat is present. That is, this heart is known as myogenic heart. Heart is two types, neurogenic heart and myogenic heart. In the invertebrates, neurogenic heart is present. In our body, myogenic heart is there. Neurogenic heart is under control of the nervous system, but myogenic heart is self-controlled, means it has its own battery power recharger inside the heart. So that heart is activated by self, one system is present inside that one, in our heart, inside on the right atrium, a self activated battery is present, battery charger is present here. This is most important node is there. This node is known as sinoatrial node. This is known as sinoatrial node. This node starts the heartbeat. So by starting the heartbeat, this SAN node, also known as a pacemaker. This is called a pacemaker. It starts the heartbeat, and that beating signals transfers to the both the atria up to here. And coming to the ventricles, here another node is present in the atrioventricular aperture right side corner. See, right side corner, another node is present. This is known as AV node, atrioventricular node. From this node, a thick branch, a thick muscle set, a thick muscle band or set is present. This muscle band, this is known as bundle of His. This is known as bundle of His. From the bundle of His, right side and left side, right side and left side, the smallest fibers are arises, and these smallest branches, they are completely surrounding the ventricles and right side and also left side. So right side and left side, smallest other fiber like structures, they come and contact with the total ventricles, and these fibers is known as Purkinje fibers. Purkinje fibers. So first what happens, sinoatrial node starts the heartbeat, that signals transfers to the left atria, and then comes to the atrioventricular AV node, and from the AV node, bundle of His takes that signal of the heartbeat and transfers to the total left and right side of the ventricles. This total all the heart muscles then contract and they starts the heartbeat. So for starting of the heartbeat and cardiac cycle, sinoatrial node is known as the pacemaker and starts the heartbeat. It starts the heartbeat. Okay, so this is about the internal structure of the heart. And next, coming to the aortic arches. Right atrium, left atrium, right atrium, left atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle. From the inner side of the right ventricle, a blood vessel comes outside. This is known as pulmonary artery. Okay, and from the right side, another larger blood vessel comes outside. This is known as systemic aorta. Also called aorta. Okay, coming to this aortic arch, both are known as aortic arches, pulmonary artery and systemic artery. And here we discussed already the semilunar valve 3, and here also same semilunar valve 3 are present. Here this is called pulmonary valves, and here these are called systemic valves. And here one point is here, in the vertebrates, in the embryonic stage, we are discussing about the vertebrates. In the vertebrates, embryonic stage, there are 6 pairs of aortic arches are present in the embryonic stage. In the embryonic stage, there are 6 pairs of aortic arches. 6 pairs are there. Coming to amphibia and reptiles. In amphibia and reptiles, left and right both aortic arches are present. They are present. Coming to the third one, in the birds, only right systemic arch is present. And lastly, in our body, in the mammals, in the human body, only left systemic artery is present. Only left systemic artery present. So that's why we are drawing from this side. So left side, left systemic artery. That means if you see here, in the amphibia, a systemic artery is with two branches, so like this. So right systemic artery and left systemic artery both are present in the amphibia and reptiles. Coming to birds, birds only right systemic arch is present, but in our body left systemic arch only present. This is the pulmonary goes to the lungs for purification, and it comes down and up to the all the body parts. It transfers the pure blood to the all the body parts in the mammals in our body. So this is about the systemic arch and aortic valves and pulmonary valves. So we discussed in this class about the internal structure of the heart, the four chamber hearts, right atrium and left atrium, right ventricle and left ventricle. Right side two chambers, atria and ventricles, are somewhat larger comparing to the left one. Why the left ventricle is smaller? Because the walls are very much thicker in size, so the size of the chamber is decreases, while the right ventricle walls are thin, very thin, so the chamber size is more. And here right atria receives the impure blood from the all the body parts, so it's large in size comparing to the left atria. Okay.